Welcome everybody to Rogers Center as the Blue Jays open a 6-game homestand. The Washington Nationals in town, and there's Bryce Harper. He is the talk of the major leagues right now among young players and, quite frankly, among many players. Still just a teenager, 19 years of age, but playing like a man who's been here and does it very well. He's a big guy standing at 6'3", weighing in at 205. He comes in hitting 282. And in just 38 games in the big leagues, already 6 home runs, driving in 17, and becoming one of those leaders on this Washington Nationals club that does it the right way. And he's bringing other teammates up with him.
You know, that's the type of organization we have, type of guy I am, and a lot of guys on our team are. So I'm going to come out here, I'm going to play 110% every day. It doesn't matter if I'm hurt, have the flu or anything like that. I'm going to come out here and play my butt off and work hard and respect the game of baseball. So.
And here's the Nationals lineup here in the first of 3. Those Nats are 35 and 23. Their leadoff man is Steve Lombardozzi, swinging the bat well. Bryce Harper, you just heard from him. He is that 2-hitter. And boy, does he do a lot of things well in the last 18 games. You can see what he's done, hitting .338, going 23 for 68, and plenty of power in his game. Ryan Zimmerman follows at third base. A Gold Glover, Adam LaRoche playing like a Gold Glover at first base. Michael Morse, great power. Ian Desmond, Danny Espinosa, and Roger Bernardino at the bottom of the order.
Brandon Morrow picked up no decisions in his first 2 starts of the season, but since then he has been red hot. 7-3 with a .290 earned run average. Brandon Morrow's batting average against at .191 is the 3rd best in the American League. He has been a different pitcher this year than the one we saw last year. He has really commanded the strike zone.
And his first pitch is a bit low. On the left hand, hitting Steve Lombardozzi. Again, hitting .282, 1 home run. Not one of those power guys. There's the good heater, and that's what Tabby's talking about. Command of that pitch has made quite a difference of late.
First pitch strikes in 21 of his 31 batters. His last start against the Chicago White Sox. A lot of them like the pitch we just saw.
Another fastball. Hit sharply, but foul down the left side.
And when you can command the fastball like we have seen from Brandon Morrow this year, down and away, down and in, back away, and then throw that breaking ball, it's very tough to pick up.
These Nationals are a young club as Lombardozzi fouls another one. Lombardozzi just 23 years of age. Their pitching staff averages 26.5 years of age. And Davey Johnson has to be very pleased. There's a guy, a manager, who back in spring training said, we're going to win it this year.
Not a lot of people in the baseball world believed them, but I think they believe him now.
I wonder how much Davey Johnson has seen his team turn it upward since they've put Bryce Harper on the club.
Yeah, I think you can feel it when you talk to the people from the Washington Nationals. Ever since Bryce Harper came to the big leagues, it's like their team chemistry and the energy in that clubhouse went way up.
There's the slider lined over first down the right field side. So Lombardozzi is going to start things for the Nationals with a 2-bagger.
124 at bats. That is his 8th double of the season. It's a very simple approach at the plate for Steve Lombardozzi. It pitches up. It's a breaking ball that it's up, and he doesn't overcommit. It just stays behind the baseball, and with a short swing rips it right by David Cooper for extra bases.
Well, Bryce Harper, and everybody's talking about him, so why should we be any different? This kid can really play, and he's quite a presence as well. See the 6 home runs already. He's hit some going the other way. He is just a hitting machine, but he plays the entire game with great intensity. Morrow under the knees to start him.
Hangs in there against the lefties also. Look at that, 357. Heard about him 3 years ago when he was just 16 years old.
Holds that left elbow high. Unusual there. He takes a fastball right through the heart of the plate.
That's okay to start it that high, as long as you tuck it down in there and get that bat in that launching position. If you keep it up, that's when the loop and the swing becomes a little bit too pronounced. You start popping the balls up, but we haven't seen that in the tape that we have watched this year of Bryce Harper.
These Nationals just came out of Boston at Fenway Park, sweeping away the Red Sox in 3 games. So they're a hot ball club, and Bryce Harper played a big part in yesterday's win. Morrow misses down and in. Harper did not start, and this is one of the really impressive things about a young player like Bryce Harper. And now Brandon Morrow, apparently something is wrong physically as he delivered that last pitch.
This is not good. As soon as he let that pitch go, he yanked it across his body, and he called for John Farrell and Hap Hudson, the trainer, to come out and talk to him. This is not a good sign. I don't know if he's pointing to his low back.
My guess is that left rib cage area. I thought he pointed in that range. And so the Blue Jays start the night, this tough series with the Washington Nationals, with a guy who's pitching like an ace around the major leagues, Brandon Morrow, no question about it. And Brandon can't get any deeper than facing the second hitter.
9 pitches. This is not good, the way he called. He knew he was hurt as soon as he let go that pitch. He called for some help. Watch him here. Watch him yank that pitch across and then start saying, hey, wait a minute, something's wrong here. Come out here.
You have to wonder, did something bother him at all in any previous pitch, or was it all right there? Boy, that's scuffle time if you're the manager. So we're going to break. We will be right back right after this.
The Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware and building center location. Homeowners helping homeowners.
John Farrell having a chat with Ricky Romero, and Boy, you just have to wonder what this does to John Farrell and this entire staff, and what John Farrell might have been saying to Ricky Romero under those circumstances.
Well, you know, he only threw 4 innings yesterday. You know, they might have to move him up, I guess. I'm not sure. They might probably were just talking about the injury that we just saw from Brandon Morrow. Let's watch that pitch one more time and watch him as he finishes it. He calls the training staff right out, and watch him point or say something about his side right there. Like he pulled that rib cage muscle or intercostal muscle on his side, and that's not a good thing.
Well, John Farrell had to opt to go to the bullpen, bringing in Chad Beck. He has not picked up a win or loss. It was Chad Beck, as you look at some of those numbers, and he had great numbers at AAA in that Pacific Coast League this year, but it was Chad Beck called with the balk in Game 1 in Atlanta, resulting in a tie at the time, eventually leading to the Braves winning that first game. Chad Beck, a big guy, hails from the Houston, Texas area. He'll work it to Bryce Harper as the pitch is grounded through the right side. And coming into the plate with a great throw from Jose Bautista that's not quite in time. Jose Bautista will leave most guys not trying to run. Lombardozzi comes to the plate and scores on the base hit by Harper. What a throw by Jose.
Yeah, right on target. J.P. and Sabia barely had to move for that ball. Very aggressive base running in the first inning with nobody out on the turf. You can see Bo Porter, the third base coach, sending Lombardozzi, who can run, and you can see Aaron Sebia doesn't even have to move. That one hop throw just a little bit late as Lombardozzi scores the first run of the game.
Terrific throw, and that guy can throw with the very best in the game, and there is one of the future very best, Bryce Harper. He leads from first. Ryan Zimmerman stands in and takes high.
Again, with a ground ball to your left, you just take off right away, keep your head up, make sure you make a good cut at that corner, which Lombardozzi does. Picks up where the ball is, knows it's going to be close, and scores.
A lot of teams won't run with nobody out, one out with Jose Bautista, but the Nats run and take advantage on the play.
I was surprised with nobody out in the first inning that they would take a chance like that. But they know their team a little bit better than we do, and it worked out nicely for them.
Ryan Zimmerman is locked up in a long contract with these Washington Nationals. Guy that's been an all-star, a terrific player. Numbers are tailing off at least this season.
He has been battling some injury problem over the last couple of years, but over his last 6 games, really starting to turn it on. I think he's one of the best defensive third basemen in all of baseball. When you watch him field ground balls and the way he moves, he's one of the best with very soft hands. Injuries, though, the last couple of years have really hurt him.
There goes Harper. Ball is off the glove of David Cooper into foul territory. Harper's going to go all the way to third base. It's an E3, so the Blue Jays don't see things start very well here in this first inning, as the Nats lead it 1-0 already. And now runners at the corners with nobody out.
Davey Johnson picks the right time to send the runner, and Zimmerman swings away, and I think that might have cost David Cooper there. Maybe he looks up just a little bit as this ball is inside out or right to the first baseman. Comes off the bag, and maybe he's thinking about turning 2 before catching the ball, or ricochets off his glove, and the Nats are in the driver's seat.
How tough is that as an infielder to take a ground ball that's been on the turf and then takes that one hop in the dirt?
Yeah, I think if you just smother that ball and don't try and turn 2, just think about getting an out.
This one's popped up. So Beck has a chance of getting an out, infield variety, and a big first out as Cooper puts it away. Chad Beck called up by the ball club on June 7th. Appeared with Toronto late last season.
His longest outing as a Blue Jay is just 2 innings. So he's basically been groomed to the back end of the bullpen. It'll be very interesting to see how long or how many pitches the Jays can get out of him tonight. Power pitcher, fastball, slider, and a split change. I don't think they can think of more than 3 innings from him.
Chad Beck originally drafted 14th round by the Arizona Diamondbacks in '06. Little cutter misses inside. Michael Morse at the plate. Big guy with big time power.
Morse has great power. You were just talking about it. He's another player. This is a team that the Washington Nationals have had the injury bug themselves. And their big hitter here, Morse, just off the disabled list and into that lineup. Last season, 36 doubles, 31 home runs, 95 driven in. But just his 8th game this season.
Well, you mentioned those numbers. What a year he put up last year. There's extension on the arms. Slider hit high in the air. And this is going to be deep enough to score the run from third base as Harper tags. Bautista tries to get behind it and create a chance on the throw, but Harper just runs too well. So 2-0 here in the first inning. The Nats jump on top. That's a ball club that's playing well right now. And again, they just come out of Fenway Park sweeping the Red Sox 3 straight. And that'll lift any club.
Yeah, doing it with great pitching, good defense, and a lot of good hitting. Davey Johnson, I asked some of the people with the Nationals today, his influence on this organization when he took over. He said, look, he's been there before. He's very smart. He's a baseball guy. And he was doing the things that are happening nowadays, meaning the matchups and all the scouting and the moving around of the defenders and all this kind of stuff. He was doing that long before the people are doing it now. He learned at the foot of Earl Weaver when he played for the Baltimore Orioles. Great manager with the Mets, and he has brought that philosophy here, and it certainly works.
It's a very young club, these Washington Nationals, and you wonder where Davey Johnson might rank them among talented teams that he's managed.
Well, he's got the stud #1 pitcher, just like he did when he was with the New York Mets. He's got the stud slugger, young right fielder like he did when he was with the New York Mets. And a lot of other complement players and talented players on this team.
Beck trying to get out close, but just outside in the estimation of Field and Culbreth. Talked about the pitching staff for the Nationals. Average age just about 26.5. Overall, this club 27.5 the age, so they're a young club. Ian Desmond at the plate, one of those youngsters that is loaded with tools. Might be a good opportunity for Beck tonight to get some innings in and maybe prove himself a bit.
Not really stretched out because he's been in the bullpen all season long.
As a closer.
As a closer or a one-inning guy. So that's why I think 3 innings might be the max as long as the pitch count doesn't jump up there.
Yeah, we can see that he throws hard. 95 on that heater. John Farrell got a lot to mull over here this evening.
That's a tough position that you throw your manager in when your starter has to come out the second batter of the ball game.
Beck trying to hold it to a 2-run frame, leaves it up. What impact will this have on these guys? Those other starters for the Blue Jays, and we saw John Farrell talking with Ricky Romero. Henderson Alvarez, a guy that may have to eat up some innings, maybe on a short 4-day rest.
Tomorrow's starter, Henderson Alvarez, is going to have to go deep. We saw that in Atlanta when Tommy Hanson sucked up a lot of innings and went 8 innings for Atlanta to help their bullpen.
Looked like a changeup handled by Laurie, and he'll retire the Nats in the first inning. But they pick up a pair, and they do it maybe even more so injurious to the Blue Jays with Brandon Morrow going down. Lineup as John Farrell continues to bounce around the dugout and talk with players and coaches. Brett Laurie leads it off, followed by Colby Rasmus. That combination has been awfully good. Jose Bautista starting to slam the home runs with 17, now tied with Edwin in that category. And Edwin Encarnacion, last 21 games, hitting .325. Followed by Kelly Johnson, Yunel Escobar, David Cooper, Jake Pierre and CB behind the plate, and Rajay Davis with that speed in left.
This is Edwin Jackson getting set to make his 12th start of the season and his 8th start in his career against the Toronto Blue Jays. He's got a very good arm. It was a great sign in the wintertime by the Washington Nationals to pick up Edwin Jackson there, who starts 11 stars, 2-3 record, a very good earned run average of .311. A whip that has gone down. This is a guy who's always had a lot of talent, immense talent with a good fastball, but he hasn't been able to harness it. It certainly seems like he's starting to do that this season.
Yeah, there's John Farrell talking with his trainer and maybe getting word back, and hopefully that word is that things are not as bad as possibly thought to be initially, but that's tough to tell if that turns out to be that rib cage area on Brandon Morrow. Well, the Blue Jays down quickly. Got to get something going against an old nemesis. Edwin Jackson, though, 3-3 lifetime against the Blue Jays in 13 starts. A guy that for a period of time while playing with the Tampa Bay Rays pitched very effectively against the Jays. Sounded like Laurie broke the bat as he grounds out.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for Edwin Jackson, brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Again, immense talent with a great fastball and a great breaking ball. He's always had a high strikeout ratio. He'll use his fastball about 60% of the time. The slider much better this season. Batters are hitting just $167 against that slider, so he'll use it with 2 strikes also. Changeup and his curveball. His curveball is a good one when he can get it over the plate, and that's something that we have seen finally from Jackson now in his career.
Edwin Jackson with a spectacular whip this year. The walks plus hits divided by innings pitched just above the 1 mark, and in good part because he's only walked 19 over 72 plus innings.
You couldn't say that about him earlier in his career when he was with the Dodgers and then Tampa and then Detroit, Arizona, the White Sox, St. Louis. Those are all the teams that he has pitched for.
Just outside.
And very briefly for the Blue Jays. He was in the Blue Jays organization. Remember the 3-way trade?
I do.
That the Blue Jays put together about a year ago to get this man right here, Colby Rasmus. Edwin Jackson ricocheted from Chicago to here to St. Louis.
Talk about Colby Rasmus a moment as a leadoff man. Fouls one down the right side, hitting .375 now. And had a big swing in the win for the Blue Jays yesterday, pounding one to the seats in right field.
Well, he's made the changes at the plate. He's a little bit more up on that plate. He is challenging those pitchers to throw that ball on the inner half, and he is yanking it to right field when they do. Doesn't mean he can't hit the ball the other way, but this is the type of hitter he was.
Rushes one to right field, no doubt about it. Second tank, and Colby gets the Blue Jays on the board. That's number 9 for Rasmus.
After an 0 for 17 mini slump through Chicago and parts of Atlanta, it looks like Colby Rasmus is back, challenging Edwin Jackson to throw the fastball on the inner half. And again, this is the type of batter he was when he was in the minor leagues, just turning on every fastball in the inner half, and that one is not coming back. No doubt about it, to right field.
The only way that one comes back is if it hits a seat just right.
Or a fan throws it back.
Jose Bautista has been slamming the long balls.
Oh, I love this swing. It's short, it's compact, not a whole lot of movement in the lower half now from Colby. And good things are happening.
So the Nationals score 2 in the first inning, and the Blue Jays come right back with 1. Colby Rasmus, he does not look like a power hitter, but that bat is quick. You know, you start projecting numbers, and that can be dangerous at times, but Colby Rasmus probably projects out around 25 dingers a year right now.
with good defense. He'll score runs at the top of the lineup. You mentioned the 25 home runs and probably 75, 80 RBIs as it is right now.
Take that as a center fielder that can go get it
every day.
Yeah.
You take that every day.
Hitter's pitch for Bautista. However, Edwin Jackson comes with the slider and puts it down and away.
And pitchers have stayed away from Bautista this year. A lot of pitches on the outer half. They just won't challenge him inside anymore. Even though they've got the 3 on the left side of the infield, they still choose to keep the ball away from him.
So Edwin tries to come in with a fastball. You know, there are some comparisons when you think about Colby Rasmus right up on the plate and the way Jose Bautista stands on the plate and tries to yank balls to left field.
Not a bad philosophy if you've got a quick bat.
Sure turns into that home run game. Jackson, after bringing the slider on an earlier pitch, comes fastball 3-2.
Yeah, you can stand on top of the plate when you've got that type of bat speed that Rasmus and Jose Bautista have.
Looks like Jackson and company going through the series of signs. Legend has it that Rogers Center is a place where signs can be stolen. Tough slider just outside, and you can see Jackson wanted that one. Colby Rasmus over his last 20 games has been spectacular. First 39 games on the year, not so much. Last 20, what a turnaround.
And in those first 39 games, there were times where he was hitting line drives and they were right at people. But now, over his last 20, the average is up, but he is hitting the ball with authority. The on-base plus slugging at 992, over 300 points higher. Now, it's the extra bases. It's his approach at the plate that's so much better.
Encarnacion stands in. Edwin with 17 bombs, just like teammate Jose Bautista. As a pair, they lead the major leagues, and not a bad thing to have.
Yeah, two of the best in baseball back to back in terms of numbers. Look at that. Identical.
Every team would take that set of numbers. Bautista edges. You could see Jackson didn't have any kind of form of a slide step. A little bit of a leg kick, and if you're one of the Blue Jays players that are inclined to steal bags, you're probably watching this pretty closely.
Right now, Jose Bautista is not taking a very big lead over there at first base. He is just keeping close to the bag, down by a run, and you've got a power hitter at the plate. You're going to let him swing and let him see if he can put the Blue Jays up with one swing.
Sinking fastball at 93. That's throwing it hard with that kind of sink.
Yeah, he didn't have that pitch last year. Edwin Encarnacion never gets cheated when he is at the plate.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things I notice about Edwin this year is the way he is consistently getting that swing.
Seeing the ball.
Yeah.
He's seeing the ball a little bit more consistently, and I think it's his approach at the plate, keeping two hands on the bat, keeps that front shoulder in just a little bit longer.
Slider down in the dirt, and Edwin able to lay off that pitch. A lot going on that says to me Edwin's eyes are staying nice and still at the plate.
And again, I think it's because he is hitting from an open stance. He is keeping that shoulder and he's seeing the ball. And this is just continuation from last year in the second half when his walks went up by 3 times what he had in the first half.
Jackson's going to peek at Jose Bautista, who's stolen 3 on the season. A little too much time for Edwin. Jose can run, but he'll pick his spots. That's Edwin Encarnacion protecting. So many times umpires will call that pitch that's just off the outside corner or inside corner a strike, and with 2 strikes, that's really a must as a major league hitter.
Yeah, you've got to be able to foul that ball off. You take your swing, you let it get a little bit deeper. Just try and keep that at bat alive and hope for the next is a mistake. Encarnacion, even though he swings hard, he just hasn't struck out like he has in the past. Not like we have seen him.
Jackson really slows it down with men on. That's a tough slider. One of the things we've seen through the years with Encarnacion is he will launch a bat or two.
That one just leaving the stands. That didn't have any hits in it. Find something else. Slider down and away to Encarnacion, and he loses the bat. Just find something else.
Enjoy your popcorn, hot dog, and bat. So 2 down for Kelly Johnson. Kelly on the season hitting .255. 9 home runs. Jackson has peaked over enough. He's going to go ahead and throw. Kelly Johnson, a big 29 ribbies on the season. As a second baseman, those are good numbers. Fastball a bit high. And Kelly's enjoyed interleague action. Of course, yesterday's game, one of the 6 the Blue Jays have played up to this date this season, picking up 18 hits and 12 runs. Doesn't hurt a bit.
That was time to pad the stats in yesterday's ball game.
All teams do it. I find myself around people who say, well, but this team, they do it just in certain games. If you look around Major League Baseball, that happens a lot. That's kind of the way of the game.
Well, guy out on that mound is paid to stop you. And they have run into some pretty decent pitching over the last couple of weeks.
Foul ball right off the mask of Flores.
One of the guys they ran into down in Atlanta. That pitching staff by the Atlanta Braves is pretty strong. They ran into Brandon Beachy and Tommy Hanson.
That back end of the bullpen for Atlanta. Wow.
That's no joy.
Craig Kimbrell can flat out blow it by hitters. So the count of the ball and 2 strikes, and you can see Jackson throwing hard at 95.
You know, that interleague play, when you talk about that, I think it's the luck of the draw. Blue Jays did not get any luck when they got the draw of the National League East this year. They get Washington, they're #1 in ERA. Philadelphia's 6th. Atlanta's pitching staff is good. They got the Mets. They've got a couple of guys who can bring it.
Changeup possibly down and away, and Kelly Johnson's had a rough time with that changeup down, sliders down and in, fastballs up, kind of the routine that will give you a tough time.
He's had his success going the other way this year. But you're right, that fastball up and away, he has swung through it at times, and the changeup down and away. James Shields got him a couple of times in Tampa by using that same type of changeup.
Bautista goes, and the pitch hit on the ground to the right side. Second baseman Espinosa is there to make the play, and that'll do it for the Blue Jays. But they bounce back with a run of their own, and they do it as Colby Rasmus unloads on one of the second tank, his 9th on the year. Blue Jays back a run. John Farrell, and there's no doubt about what they're talking about. Brandon Morrow lasted just 9 pitches tonight, allowed a leadoff double, and then with Bryce Harper at the plate had to come out. It appeared that he pointed toward the left rib cage area, and they are coming up with all the information right now. What do you think, Tabby, as you watch them?
I think better safe than sorry. I think with such a dominating pitcher like Brandon Morrow, anytime a pitcher has a problem, if it's the low back or if it's the side, which we think it might be, that's a DL stint right there. We're hoping for the best. We're hoping that it might just be a cramp or something like that. But you've got to get him right. You got to make sure the next time he takes the mound that he is 100% healthy. So we're hoping for the best. We'll have to wait to see what the MRI will bring.
Danny Espinosa at the plate, and there was a lot of conversation going on. That fastball is thrown on by. And because there was a lot of conversation from George Poulos to the skipper John Farrell, to me it says the trainer doesn't come out and say he's going to have to go on the DL. It's just one of those injuries. There's no need talking about it.
Watching him, it's him doing all the talking. He's telling them what the first diagnosis is, and again, we're not real sure. We haven't heard anything official from the Blue Jays yet on what the problem is. But I think just to make sure that he's 100%, and if he's going to have to miss some time and some throwing days, that sets him back. That sets a pitcher back. So
that face of John Farrell didn't look like the face of optimism, by the way. Strikeout for the first out here in the second inning. Well, Brandon Morrow, tough guy to lose, and he has been a red-hot pitcher of late. In his last 9 starts, look at those numbers. 7-2, great ERA, just everything you want to see.
That's #1 type of stuff right there. You get the win, 7 out of the 9 starts. The ERA just over 2. Opponent's batting average under 200. Just dominating type of stuff, and a guy that you could count on and get you deep into the ball game, gives your bullpen a little bit of a rest. So again, we are hoping for the best for the Blue Jays and Brandon Morrow.
Roger Bernardina at the plate. Ground ball to first. This one knocked down by Cooper as he goes to the bag. Cooper committed an error in the first inning that led to a run for the Nats.
Good job by Chad Beck. This is going to be a very interesting ball game for him. It's a power pitcher. Again, he hasn't been stretched out, but you can really open up some eyes right here. The last time the Blue Jays had a starter go a very short distance, ironically, it was Brandon Morrow, 2/3 of an inning down in Texas.
Little slider outside from Beck. Yeah, you're right. And that was just counting tonight 4 starts back. 2/3 of an inning, 5 hits, I believe it was.
Yep, 6 earned runs, and then Carlos Villanueva 4 1/3 innings that day.
Jose Bautista with a great diving play, robbing Jesus Flores. And so the Blue Jays play some defense as they try to get back into this ball game. Chad Beck is going to wait around for his right fielder and tell him, thanks a lot, buddy. Look at this break and that terrific all-out play. in the major leagues, a guy that can really throw. We all know that, but he gets some terrific jumps and will make some plays that you just can't believe at the ballpark.
Made a great play down in Atlanta to take away a base hit yesterday in the 8th inning, and now takes one away from Jesse Flores, laying out to his glove side to take away extra bases.
On the carpet, and you wonder sometimes, does that carpet take that dive away from some outfielders?
I'm not diving on it, I'll tell you that.
Not at this stage of things anyway. 2-1 Nats on top, and conversations go on, and John Farrell continues to shake the head, and that probably says he's not getting a real good word. Brandon Morrow injured in the first inning, had to come out. Chad Beck has picked him up. Yunel Escobar leads it off here in the bottom of the second inning. Colby Rasmus is homered for the Blue Jays run. Hopper easily handled at second base by Espinoza, who has a very good arm. In fact, people talk about this infield for the Nationals with great praise. Terrific throwing arms.
They've got good arms. They've got good gloves. LaRoche is as good as anybody at first base, and you could say the same thing about Zimmerman, probably in a class all by himself. 4th fewest errors in the National League are the Washington Nationals, so they take it to the level of pitching and defense will win the ball game.
David Cooper back in the starting lineup, just under the knees. Cooper, because of the National League rules while the Blue Jays played in Atlanta, found himself sitting a bit. Was in yesterday as Edwin Encarnacion got a start in left field. Oh, that's a tough strike.
Yeah, you can't swing it that way. It's just painted perfectly on the outside corner. He has done a good job of getting into the box and letting it go.
Good hitters learn to take that pitch early in the count. Ground ball up the middle, backhanded from the knees. Espinoza, the arm, plays in as a couple of ground balls to second base. Espinoza shows why so many people are so impressed with him.
That's 3 in a row that he has made. That was the best one yet. Watch him get the jump on this ball. Looks like it's heading out into center field.
See how quickly he comes to his feet, to the knees, and then pop up. And not trying to throw from an awkward position, but that good strong throwing arm, much like a Robinson Cano.
An accurate arm. Yeah, he is a plus thrower from second base.
JP Arancibia. That batting average has been dipping a bit of late, but 9 home runs on the season. Good slider. Well, that's tough when you get ahead as a hitter and you have the 1-0 count and you think, okay, I'm going to get a fastball and air this swing out. And you get that slide piece.
That's not a lot of fun. A right-handed hard thrower.
This slider hit hard at Zimmerman at third. He'll knock it down. His throw is not in time. That's a heck of a play just to keep this ball in the infield.
Athleticism is what it takes to play a corner infield position. Watch Zimmerman swipe at the ball. It goes straight up in the air. He almost comes down with it to make the play. He's got the presence of mind to catch it underhand. Just can't get anything on it or accurately. And J.P. Arancibia will beat it out.
They have called this an error.
What?
A scorekeeper who has never played third base has called this an error. That's all I have to say. Rajay Davis comes to the plate.
I've already put infield single in mine.
I've got it on mine as well.
And I'm not changing it.
Rajay hits it in the air and deep to right, but room for Harper. He'll make the one-handed grab. So the Blue Jays, at least statistically, officially, do not have a hit in the inning. We played 2-1 Nats on top. Enjoying those big comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone are guests of TD. The TD Comfort Zone, courtesy of TD. Two-one, Nats on top. Chad Beck on the hill. You were waiting to see Brandon Morrow. He lasted just into the second hitter tonight as the leadoff man, Steve Lombardozzi, a switch hitter, standing in left-handed fouls, went off. Brandon Morrow, we have not gotten the official word, but apparently pulling a muscle, it appeared to us possibly in the left rib cage area. Changeup grounded slowly to second. Kelly Johnson has the answer for that one, and out number one.
So now you've got to put it together and try and figure out how you're going to get through 9 innings tonight.
Chad Beck gave up a base hit to Bryce Harper, who now will stand in. Back in the first inning, it all added up in that frame to a couple of runs for the Nats. There was an error charged to David Cooper, and that was key in the inning as well. But Bryce Harper had an RBI single as he takes the change.
Well, he's a good-looking hitter because he's got a smooth swing. He really leverages the ball, meaning that he gets through it and stays on top of it. You don't see a lot of looping type of swings or inside out swings. He just gets the barrel of the bat to the ball.
About to talk about an at bat of his yesterday, pinch hitting late in the ball game. He drew a walk, taking some close, tough pitches, something that young hitters find a very difficult time doing. Count goes to 3-0. Good sinking action on that heat.
You usually see that from a veteran type of hitter who's had about 1,500 at bats in the big leagues. That's the equivalent of about 3 years in the big leagues. Really taking those tough pitches right on the border, but he's got a good idea.
Oh, when you talk about Bryce Harper, you can talk about some greats through the years. I don't know. What do you think? Ken Griffey Jr.? Numbers look pretty comparable.
Well, he matches up through the first 38 games of their respective major league careers. Look at the average, just about the same. The hits, the home runs, RBIs, on base plus slugging a little bit higher for Harper. So might we be talking about the next Ken Griffey Jr.? That's Hall of Fame.
He's really good, that's for certain, and he gets a lot of hype, and it's hard to live up to the hype, but Harper's been doing it. Ryan Zimmerman stands in, takes low. That fastball is diving. You can see Aaron Seavey had turned that glove over the wrong way.
He's got a good sinker tonight. That'll bode well if he can get it in the strike zone and get it on the ground.
We'll go back to Harper, Tabby, and I'll ask you. You think the 19-year-old age really matters for a player of this talent level?
Well, he's been exposed to a lot early in his career. As a young player, he always played with older kids. He's played on travel baseball teams, those AABC types of teams down in the States.
There he goes. Aaron Seavey from the knees and a good throw. Just getting in, Bryce Harper. He can run, he can hit. Defensively, he's been strong. Washington Nationals love everything about this 19-year-old.
Goes on first movement from Chad Beck and outruns the baseball. Now 4 for 6 in stolen bases this year. Let him go to the outside part of that bag, making Kelly Johnson reach just a little bit further. But yeah, at 19 years old, I know I had no clue at 19. I think I was starting my first year in A-ball. I'm still picking up my pension from A-ball. I spent so many years there, and this guy's in the big leagues.
Number 1 overall pick. Steven Strasburg, another one of those for the Nationals. They have certainly benefited in that regard, but Harper plays every day and plays the game right. And now sees the ground ball go right by him. Escobar thought about trying to apply a tag for an out. Can't get it and gets the out at first. Last 25 games, he's been hot. He had his slow time early on, but now he seems to have found it.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, the first 32 games, you're learning the league. It's a whole different lifestyle. Everything is new. So he's just starting to adapt. His last 25 games, a .316 average. And that's just going to go up and up and up.
I thought that was a pretty good read at second base as he was leading from the bag. Ground ball hit right at him, and he got back. I think Escobar likely had a play at third had Harper taken off in that direction.
You would have had a shot at him. You're already in scoring position. You don't want to get knocked out.
Adam LaRoche stands in. Tabby's already talked about his terrific defense. Guy with power. And he has fit in quite nicely here for the Nats.
He's had a great year so far. 10 home runs, 40 driven in. He's also had 14 doubles.
Crushes one deep to right field. No doubt about it. Bautista watches it go to the second tank. 2-run bomb for Adam LaRoche. And now the Nationals take a 4-1 lead. That's number 11 for Adam LaRoche. Just has that perfect left-handed swing that reaches the seats.
A hanging breaking ball over the middle of the plate, right in the wheelhouse of a veteran who has been around. He knows what to do with these types of pitches. Full extension, and no doubt about it. Into the second deck in right field, about the same spot that Colby Rasmus's home run landed.
Yeah, there's some love to be had in that dugout for the Nationals the way they're playing right now. Ground ball through the right side off the bat of Mike Morse. His first official at bat on the game. He had a sacrifice fly driving in a run in the first inning. Nationals now with 4 hits on their evening. Brings up the shortstop Ian Desmond. And with all the talent to go around on this Nationals club, this is one of the guys that gets a lot of talk.
Shortstop with power and speed. Ian Desmond, 8 home runs and 30 RBIs this season. He's also had 7 stolen bases. He has cut his errors down. Last year he made a ton of errors, and that's one of the things that the Nationals wanted to see a little bit more improvement, and they have. But a very dangerous hitter in the middle of the diamond.
Mike Morse leading from first base. Pitch is popped up. Should be easy for Kelly Johnson. And he'll put it away. That'll do it for the Nats in the third inning. But 2 more runs, and they come across the plate on that 2-run home run by Adam LaRoche. Do it for the Blue Jays. Brett Lawrie. He'll be followed at the top by Colby Rasmus and Jose Bautista. Yesterday, the Blue Jays were in Atlanta. Brett Lawrie crushed this slow curveball from Livan Hernandez, weighted back and drove it to left field. For Brett Lawrie, his 5th long ball of the year, as that top of the order came through once again for the Jays.
Yeah, certainly did. Lawrie with that home run. That was a picture-perfect swing of how to hit a curveball. Stay back just a little bit longer and let that ball travel, and then put a good short swing on it.
So Lawrie leads it off here in the Blue Jays half of the 3rd inning. 4-1 Nationals. We've had a couple of home runs already tonight. In the 1st inning, it was Colby Rasmus, his 9th of the year, solo job. For the Nats, 2-run job by first baseman Adam LaRoche in the 3rd inning. But the big story to this point, if you've just checked in, Brandon Morrow had to leave as he faced just his 2nd hitter on the night. We await word as to what took place officially with Brandon, but it appeared that maybe the left rib cage area. Lawrie drills one into left field. So Lawrie starts that at bat hitting .274. He'll push that up a bit. And now an update with Jamie Campbell. Thanks a lot, Jamie. Washington Nationals have come to town with a bang. And now the Blue Jays try to respond. Colby Rasmus, talk about banging one. Just a towering bomb to right field. 9th home run, 29th RBI in the 1st inning.
It's a very simple approach at the plate. You can see how close he is. Watch where his hands end up. They're over the plate. Pitcher says, I think I can get one in there.
Slightly open stance and drops a good bunt. Is it going to roll foul? Yes, it does. If you're going to bunt for the base hit, you try to leave it as close to the line as possible, soften it up. Rasmus does that, but sometimes you just get a little too perfect with it.
Look at the ball. It's got a little bit of English on it, and it spins foul. That's not a bad idea right there.
Tabby, let me ask you about this top of the order now that the Blue Jays have been featuring. I believe this is a 7th game with Brett Lawrie at the top, followed by Colby Rasmus, and what they're able to do.
I think the energy that Brett Lawrie brings to the top of the lineup, and then the speed of both Lawrie and Rasmus, can really put a lot of pressure on the pitcher when they are on base. When you've got that type of speed, pitchers tend to split their focus, concentrate on the runner at first base, think that they have to throw a fastball in these types of situations, and I think you're playing right into the hands of the Blue Jays if you do.
Colby Rasmus is a terrific fastball hitter right now as he has his game together. Backs away. Looked like Flores had a notion of firing on down to first base. John Farrell may have gotten some, at least for the time being, really good news. The word that we get now on Brandon Morrow is left oblique strain. We got that right. And that's followed by those 3 really nice words, day to day. So we'll see. Sometimes that can change, but that's great early news.
Yeah, if that's just day to day, then hopefully he won't miss a start.
Rasmus with the count. Had a ball and a strike. This guy is turning into one of those power hitters at the top of your order that can supply you with a number of runs where you really don't anticipate it normally.
The home run.
Yeah.
You know, you get that first guy on base and he knocks one out of the ballpark and you've got 2 quick runs.
Edwin Jackson with Lawrie on the move. Pitch is hit right at Espinosa. Otherwise, golden opportunity to go first to third for the Blue Jays. So Colby's thrown out 4-3. Lawrie safely into second base.
Blue Jays have wanted to play a little bit more aggressively on the bases. Even though they're down by 3 runs, they start the runner and stay out of the double play. Brett Lawrie is now in scoring position for Bautista, Encarnacion, and Johnson. So it pays off to start that runner.
Jose Bautista drew a walk in the first inning. Close pitch off the outside edge. It's one of those ball games, much like yesterday. The Atlanta Braves, after 3 innings, led it 4-0. The Blue Jays were not swinging the bats well. And then it turned around in a big way. 6 runs for the Blue Jays in the 5th. shift on defensively. Espinoza, the second baseman, playing back of the bag and keeping Laurie near the bag. Jose a big chopper to third. Zimmerman holds the runner and throws out Jose. These are the top duo in terms of home runs in the American League. Edwin Encarnacion along with Jose Bautista as Edwin stands in.
It's always tough to get through the Yankees with Cano and Granderson, the White Sox with Dunn and Konerko, and of course Josh Hamilton and Mike Napoli. But the best in the American League, 34 home runs combined for Bautista and Encarnacion. So you've got to be careful when you're pitching to the 3 and 4 hitters of the Blue Jays.
Jose Bautista has spent much of the season trying to figure out what is just a shade off. Edwin takes a strike. I have my feelings as to what's gone on with Jose. Curious about yours, Tabby.
I think they're pitching him a little bit differently. Last year, of course, they were pitching him, and if they walked him, big deal. This year, I think they've made a concentrated effort of just keeping the ball away from him.
Perfectly placed fastball at the knees.
You look at where all the pitches location are to Bautista, the location of the pitches, and all of them are away. And everybody knows that he likes to get that out and pull the ball. What does he hit, like 2 or 3 home runs in the last 3 years to right field? So they're just going to say, all right, you're not going to beat me on the inside. And if I end up walking you, big deal.
As I watched Jose Bautista the last couple of years lead the major leagues in home runs each one of those seasons, I saw a guy that could handle just about anything, turn it around to left field if need be. And what I've watched this year is a guy who has been jumping open as he lands with the left foot, and it's left his eyes moving a lot. It's always intriguing having former ball players analyze what they see with guys. Edwin hits one right off the end of the bat to short. Desmond onto LaRoche, and that'll do it for the Blue Jays in the 3rd inning. They pick up a hit and leave a man. Edwin Jackson has been tough so far here this evening. In Kansas City, you have a chance to vote for your favorite Blue Jays players, including Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, Yunel Escobar, and Brett Laurie. Cast your vote at BlueJays.com. Fans are allowed to vote a maximum of 25 times per email address, so vote early and vote often. Nationals lead at 4-1 as we go to the 4th inning. 7-hitter Danny Espinoza at the plate, switch hitter, batting left-handed. Espinoza struck out in the 2nd against Beck. He takes a strike.
Boy, what a job Chad Beck has done. Called upon an emergency here. That was just his 40th pitch. He's thrown 26 strikes as he now works into his 4th inning.
Bunting right through it is Espinoza. He left one pitch in a favorable zone for Adam LaRoche, and he planted it, a 2-run job to right field.
Yeah, but other than that, he's been great. You know, you do all your work in batting practice, you get your running in. If there's some throwing that you need to do, you don't anticipate. But Chad pitched in an inning in yesterday's ball game. And then all of a sudden you're called upon, second batter of the ball game, to come in here and give him 4 innings.
Luis Perez getting it loose in the Blue Jays pen, and like you say, if you can get 4 innings out of Chad Beck, that is a big plus.
It certainly will help.
This ball is crushed. Will it stay fair? It does not. And Chad Beck fortunate to have not allowed at this point a second home run on the night. Danny Espinoza showing some terrific pop.
5 home runs this year for Espinoza. And that time it almost left the yard. Espinoza last year had a very good year with the bat. Hit 21 home runs. That's pretty good for a second baseman.
Chad Beck's used that changeup quite a bit. Having a hard time throwing it for a called strike. Well, again, for those just checking in, Brandon Morrow removed after facing 1 hitter plus in the first inning. Yielded a double to Steve Lombardozzi. That half swing goes through, and that's the changeup once again. So a second strikeout for Chad Beck. So Morrow was removed in the first inning with what turns out to be a left oblique strain. Do you see anything, Tabby, as you watch him in pitches leading up?
These are the last 3 pitches he threw. You see him kind of work the back area. Now watch him kind of a little bit. Look at the left arm against his body. He kind of moves his shoulders a little bit, tries to stretch out, and then the last one he pulls it across, and he knows that something was wrong there. And we find out it's in the left oblique strain. So John Farrell and his staff will think about that, and maybe if there's a move, it'll come after the ball game.
Chad Beck has come on and done a nice job. There's that changeup just low. Roger Bernardina at the plate. He's the center fielder for the Nationals, the first place Washington Nationals from the National League East. That's a tough division, very much like the American League East this year. Beck throws that fastball that gets a lot of sinking action. One team in each of those divisions not playing .500 ball. From the American League East, that's the Red Sox. So Beck issues the 1-out walk to Bernardina. That'll bring up the 9-hitter. Boston Red Sox start the night at 29-31. Other than that, Tampa Bay, New York, Baltimore, Toronto, all above .500. You go to the National League East, only the Philadelphia Phillies below that .500 mark, with Washington at the top, followed by Atlanta, New York, and Miami.
2 best
yeah
in baseball, I think. You've got great pitching, talented players throughout the whole division, and some teams that can spend some money. Washington Nationals, I think their payroll is about $120.
Davey Johnson has certainly liked what he's seen this year. Beck turns and fires to first. Nationals with 2 in the first, 2 in the third. The Blue Jays pick up a run on Colby Rasmus. Home run in the first inning, his 9th. Bernardina, a guy who likes to run, has caught the attention of Chad Beck.
5 for 6 this year in stolen bases. But you're right, he can run.
Nationals don't run a ton. They've stolen 35, caught 16 times. The backdoor off-speed delivery finds the inside edge. A lot of people from other teams watch the Blue Jays, and they'll say, boy, this is a very talented club. But I would say, in watching the Nationals, just briefly here this evening in the first of 3. Looks like a talented club and a young one.
Yeah, they've got some good everyday players.
That's going to slice foul. Washington Nationals saved themselves quite a bit. They've stayed out of the double play.
Well, one of the things that you notice right off when you watch this team is they've got a lot of athletes on the diamond, and that translates. They're not going to hit a lot of balls on the ground. They can beat it out. They've got a lot of speed at every one of their positions.
A couple of switch hitters in the lineup tonight to go with left-handed bats, and that will aid in that regard.
And they've got injuries to some of their starters, everyday players. If this team could be even better.
Trying to backhand it out of the dirt. Aaron Sevilla sees it kick away, and that's enough for Roger Bernardina to go first to third. And that's a wild pitch, a 2-base wild pitch. With 1 out, that's costly.
Well, we told you that Bernardina's got some speed, and he showed it right there. Pitch in the dirt. Aaron Sevilla tries to backhand it. He's got a long way to go to run this one down, and just no chance to get Bernardina. Watch him thinking 3 as soon as this ball kicks off of the shin guard of Aaron Sevilla, and he makes it without a throw.
You know, that's intriguing to watch because he wasn't 100% going to second base. Put it all the way into gear as he headed toward third, but still quick enough to make it happen.
And an aggressive, hard slide into third base when there was no throw. And he comes up limping.
Good secondary lead, and then it kind of jogs it into second. Now he's got it in gear. You wonder what was the third base coach doing at this point. A little bit late on the stay up.
Well, third baseman hit left also, leaving him the bag.
Yeah.
So he's going to call timeout and say, I don't know if it looked like his knee banged into the dirt.
Bo Porter is that third base coach, and you can see that Bernardina is in some pain, and it looks like he may not hang around for the end of this game. If you're the third base coach on this play, do you feel like it's all your base runners read, or do you want to step in and provide some assistance?
Well, I think that the play is right in front of him. You know, he sees that the ball is to the left. All you have to see, you're running, and all you have to do is look to your left and see that the catcher is not going to get there. And he's not going to have a chance to throw you out.
So it looks like Bernardina's done for the night. Second player to have to come out of the ball game already, and we're just in the 4th inning. Xavier Nady, the veteran, will come in as the pinch runner. He's down at third base. It's a 2-2 count on the catcher Jesus Flores. Infield draws in for the Blue Jays from the stretch. Beck. That changeup is a big part of what Chad Beck does.
I mean, he's normally hard fastball, hard breaking ball, but tonight he's been able to mix that in, and I think that has helped him to get into the 4th inning. If he is the type of pitcher we saw earlier where everything is max effort, I don't think he would have been able to get this far.
He's starting to get to that max effort area now. 3-2 the count. A guy who again was a closer down at AAA and pitched very effectively, but now in a 4th inning of work here this evening.
Well, your legs start you lose that the longer you go. The balls start missing up in the strike zone.
Well, that change comes in. I don't know if that's a typical circle change or the splitter from Beck, but he records a 3rd strikeout on the night. He's second out.
He throws a split change. You can see it in his hand right there. And what that does, you throw it with the same arm speed as a fastball. And the arm action and then the depth of the pitch will get you that strikeout.
So Chad Beck is done with his night as the Blue Jays turn to Luis Perez, the left-hander who jogs in from the pen. 4-1, Nats on top. Safety day. That's Wednesday afternoon. The Blue Jays against the Nationals. First 25,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays team set of baseball cards. For tickets, call 416-341-1234 or go online to BlueJays.com. You can also do it at most Rogers Plus locations. Oh yeah, Steven Strasburg is going to be pitching for the Nats on this Wednesday afternoon. So a great day to come out to the ballpark. Luis Perez comes in out of the bullpen, third pitcher for the Blue Jays. He'll face the leadoff man, Steve Lombardozzi, who grounds one foul right off the end of the bat.
Luis Perez, another multiple inning pitcher that the Blue Jays have coming out of that bullpen. There are his numbers, 2-1 with a 307 earned run average in 26 games. He has also held lefties to a 170 average. Just 8 for 47 this year.
From the stretch, he brings it. There's a changeup.
And you've got to bring him in to face the switch hitting Steve Lombardozzi. The splits for Lombardozzi are so exaggerated. Left-handed, he pitched 314. Right-handed, just 105. So you got to turn him around to save that run, and it's a big run.
Nats build the 4-1 lead early as Lombardozzi just kind of reaches out and hits it foul. Nice play by one of the fans. Didn't bring your glove? Don't need one. The roof is closed here at the Rogers Center. Pitch hit on the ground left side. Glove by Laurie, spins and throws, and dug out by Cooper. Terrific play at third base by Brett Laurie. That'll do it for the Nats in the fourth. Watch Brett Laurie on the move. What a play, and that was going to be really tough for Escobar. for Chad Beck tonight as Bruce Walton, the pitching coach, has that conversation with him. Yes, he did give up a 2-run home run, but really goes in and provides nearly 4 innings needed by the club.
Yeah, with some help by defenders like Brett Laurie, you're going to have good stats there. Goes way to his left, and I thought you were right. If that ball gets by him, that's going to be a tough play for Escobar to throw from deep short to get a very fast runner in Steve Lombardozzi.
For a third baseman, you want to make sure you don't tip that ball. You can make the play if you're going to go for it, but that was a heck of a play. For the Blue Jays, trailing by 3 runs, Kelly Johnson leads it off and drives one down the left field side deep in the corner and handled in left field. That's Lombardozzi. Defensively, Bryce Harper takes over in center field, and Xavier Nady is in right field defensively. So we get to watch Bryce Harper go corral center field. 1 out on 1 pitch here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Yunel Escobar at the plate. Yunel, like Kelly Johnson in his first at bat, grounded out to the second baseman Espinoza. Hanging breaking ball, but hanging a bit too much. Edwin Jackson has pitched well this year, much better than the 1-loss record would indicate, but hasn't got much run support. And 2 and 3 on the year, Tabby.
It's always been a thing with him. Can he harness that great stuff? And he's always had a good fastball, a good breaking ball. Can he throw enough strikes and good strikes? And this year, finally, you can say yes. And because he's throwing pitches in the strike zone, batters are hitting it. He's got one of the lowest batting averages of balls in play in the National League. Only Brandon Beachy, Chris Capuano, and Ryan Dempster have a lower batting average against than Edwin Jackson when they hit it. And that speaks volumes about the type of stuff that he has. He's already thrown a no-hitter, hasn't he?
I believe he has, yes.
Versus the Tampa Bay Rays when he was with Arizona.
Hit right to shortstop. Ian Desmond, he's slick and he makes the play. A lot of people think pitching wins it. Well, if it does, the Nationals are in a pretty good spot. They lead the major leagues with that team ERA.
At 2.98, the lowest in all of baseball. Fewest earned runs given up. 17 unearned runs, and we'll get to see Steven Strasburg on Wednesday.
Yeah, that really is fun in setting up, at least for those of us who don't have to swing a bat.
Oh yeah, no fun for the hitters, but it'll be fun for the baseball fans watching.
David Cooper was robbed by the second baseman Espinoza back in the 2nd inning. It went sharply on the ground back up the middle, but Espinoza made a whale of a play from the knees, backhanding, popped up, and has a strong arm to throw out Cooper. Cooper hitting .327. Well, that's a tough pitch to have to deal with. With 2 strikes, you've got to find a way to protect, and David Cooper is such a good swinging hitter. Just handles the strike zone well.
He won a batting title last year. And usually when you see these types of swings, and it's a very easy, free and easy swing.
Another ground ball out to second off the bat of Cooper. He'll be thrown out in a 1-2-3 4th inning. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Jose Cruz Jr. in the Blackberry broadcast studio. Have more ways to catch Sportsnet's live coverage of the Blue Jays. Watch the action live all season from your smartphone. Download the Rogers Live app from your app store. "4-1, the Nationals lead it. We go to the 5th inning. And it's Bryce Harper time. 1 for 1. He has singled in a run. His 18th RBI. He's walked and scored. He also stole a base. So trying to do it all.
You have mentioned earlier tonight that he didn't get the start in the game yesterday in Boston. He was upset.
Turns to bunt. Pops it foul.
A little bit of a back problem that Davey Johnson held him out, but he ended up scoring what would be the winning run after a walk and came around the bases. He's the kind of guy who just loves to play. He plays it hard.
You say upset, Tabby. Upset in the way that a manager likes.
Yes. Yeah, not upset like, come on, coach, put me in the game. Upset that I want to play every inning of every game. And didn't you just love playing with guys like that?
Absolutely. Harper, as he stands in, hitting .287. He crushes left-hand pitching. Doesn't change that with this swing. This guy is something to behold. You would figure, as a 19-year-old coming to see Major League pitching, that, well, maybe he can handle some right-handers. But the left-handers, and a tough breaking ball, stays in there long enough and drills it to right.
Not intimidated at all. .357 average versus left-handers coming into this game, and that will go up after the single against Perez. Wow.
And with those .357 numbers against the lefties that you mentioned will go up, a couple of home runs mixed in as well. So you're not just pinging it around, he is crushing it.
Yeah, he's putting a good swing on it.
So Harper's 2 for 2. He's also walked. Ryan Zimmerman at the plate has reached on an error and grounded out. This one gets on by into right field. Harper's not going to stop, even with Jose Bautista's arm, but he should have. What a throw and all-around play by Jose Bautista. And the youngster may have just learned a lesson. He glanced in that direction. Yeah, that's Jose Bautista. And he possesses as good of an arm, maybe the best in all of Major League Baseball, with the accuracy and everything factored in.
Strong and accurate to right field. Once he had to stop, he should not have tried it. A little bit wider turn that you would like to see from a runner at second base. But Bautista, strong, accurate, one hop where the third baseman, all he has to do is catch and throw the tag on to get the out at third base.
Holding at first base is Ryan Zimmerman. Because of the way Bautista gets those throws down, they're cuttable, and runners can't move up. As Adam LaRoche takes a strike, he's 1 for 2. That won a big 2-run home run in the 3rd inning, his 11th on the season. Well, that's 2 throws the Nationals have gotten to see from Jose Bautista already tonight. This one, he gets Harper by a wide margin. The other, he made it close at the plate back in the 1st inning.
The tag from Brett Laurie, an aggressive tag as he is blocking the bag. And with the shoulder, it looked like his face got in there and got a shoulder right into his jaw.
Well, you wonder if that's just a learning curve needed for Bryce Harper with Jose Bautista, or do the Nationals not realize what a great throwing right fielder he is?
Oh, they know. They know.
Yeah, you would think so.
That is his 6th outfield assist of the season. Excuse me, 7th outfield assist for Bautista, which leads the American League.
You know, some guys will pick up assists because they just hit cutoff men, and because they don't have strong arms, teams run and run and run. That's not the case with Bautista.
No, he's got a great arm, and it's accurate.
LaRoche fouls it back.
I thought once Bryce Harper did not break initially. He waited for the ball to get by him and out into the outfield. With a thrower like Bautista in right field, you just can't move up. He gets the ball so quickly. He practices what he needs to do to get those type of throws off.
LaRoche just continues to battle at the plate. Sometimes in the dugout, it's the veterans who will think, boy, better you than me. I'm glad I wasn't the guy trying to go first to third.
Yeah, it's usually the guy sitting on the bench, and that's why he's on the bench, right?
That's Rick Ankiel, the veteran that Harper's having the conversation with. Nice job by Aaron Sebia.
Boy, it looked like Brett Laurie really took a shoulder right to his chin.
Don't you like to see that? There's the young player, 19 years of age, and he just wants to suck up as much as he can learn in the dugout.
That's what good players do. They learn every time they step on that baseball diamond.
You get embarrassed when you make a mistake, and you don't want to make that mistake again. Although getting thrown out by Bautista in my book is not necessarily a mistake. It may not be the wisest choice made.
Yeah, you don't want to make the first or third out at third base.
And Aaron Sebia has one kicked right off the glove. That's got to go as a pass ball as Zimmerman moves into second base. Perez just leaves it up and looked like it hit the thumb area on that glove of Aaron Sebia.
Pass ball number 8.
Already had a wild pitch that resulted in 2 bases for Roger Bernardina, who in diving into third base had to come out of the ball game. 3-2 pitch is hit high in the air to center field. Rasmus should make it easily. Tagging at second is Zimmerman. He will bluff as Colby gets it back in. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell along with Jose Cruz Jr. in that BlackBerry broadcast studio. Thanks, Jamie. 4-1 Nats on top here in the 5th inning. Big strong Mike Morse at the plate, 0 for 2. Make that 1 for 1, excuse me. Grounds one to second as Kelly Johnson will get him, and that'll do it for the Nats in the 5th inning. The Blue Jays get out of the frame with that great throw from Jose Bautista to keep no more runs on the board. Jose Bautista showing it off tonight. Is coming Sunday, and the Phillies will be in town with the Blue Jays. The first 20,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays replica batting helmet. That's presented by TD. For tickets, call 416-341-1234 or go to BlueJays.com. You can also do it at most Rogers Plus locations. Fans having a good time. Blue Jays have some work to do, however, trailing 4-1 here in the 5th inning. 8, 9, and 1 coming up. JP Arencibia leads it off.
First thing they have to do, they've got to figure out Edwin Jackson.
Yes, they do.
Just 2 hits given up tonight by Jackson. One of them a home run to Rasmus and then a single by Lloyd. He's throwing strikes. He's sinking the ball a little bit more than what we have seen from him in the past.
His 58th pitch of the game, and that's very good as you work into the 5th inning. Aaron Sebia has one of the 3 hits on the night for the Blue Jays, or rather should have. I'm sorry, my scorecard reflects hit. They called that an error as the pitch is popped up into left center field. Coming on Lombardozzi, the left fielder, he'll make the play. And it's really a shame. Aaron Sebia just drilled one at the third baseman Zimmerman, who did all he could to get his glove in front somehow, and he got charged with an error as it kicked off the glove.
I still haven't changed it.
Well, mine's going to reflect hit, so if I say Aaron Sebia has a hit later in the ball game, you know why.
I'll remember. But he's such a good fielder, and it's a do-or-die type of play when that ball's hooked at you at third base like that.
It's life and death at times with a ball hit like that.
Even better.
Rajay Davis stands in. Well, that's an effective little slider. Not trying to do too much with it. Make it look like the fastball, and it just darts away.
And he uses that this year for strikeouts.
There's the curveball over the top.
Matter's hitting 111 against that curveball this year against Jackson. He's always had the pitches. He just hasn't had the command that he has needed.
Did his bat go through? They'll appeal. And yes, it did. That in the estimation of Adrian Johnson. So Rajay Davis down on strikes. That's the 2nd strikeout for Edwin Jackson.
The highest whiff percentage on a slider belongs to Edwin Jackson this year. When he throws it with 2 strikes, he strikes out the batter 60% of the time. And right there, Rajay Davis is called going around on another breaking ball.
I might have guessed Brandon Morrow. Highest strikeout ratio on the 2-strike slider.
He is 5th in baseball.
There's that slider as a first pitch to Brett Laurie, who's 1 for 2 on the night.
Edwin Jackson is number 1. James McDonald, CC Sabathia, Matt Garza, and then Brandon Morrow. Highest whiff percentage on that slider.
Laurie gets jammed as he hits a 2-hopper to first. LaRoche will make it easily, and the Blue Jays go down handily. That's 9 in a row retired now by Edwin Jackson, as the Nats lead it 4-1. Report, and Travis Snyder's a guy that's been toiling in Dunedin, playing 8-ball of late.
Well, he's had to go down there on an injury rehab because of the wrist problems that he had. Jammed that, and he's starting to hit. He had 5 at-bats in yesterday's game. He was hitting second in the lineup for the Dunedin Blue Jays. Got 4 hits. 0 for 3 in tonight's ball game, and they're just going to monitor him the rest of the week and then see how he is. Travis Snyder got off to a great start in AAA. That might be a guy that we might see up here soon.
Rajai Davis has been bothered by that finger of late, and that speed makes him so attractive. Of course, Travis Snyder can run awfully well on top of that. Ian Desmond stands in, talented young shortstop. 0 for 2 on his night. 4 runs on 6 hits and an error for Washington. Very bogus error, by the way. 1 run on 2 hits and an error for the Blue Jays. Well, that's a nice fastball at the knees.
Luis Perez possesses a very good arm. It's a young man that started in the minor leagues, and Pat Henkin had a chance to see him down in the minors and wasn't real sure if he was going to make it up to the big leagues.
This fastball's drilled into right field. Jose Bautista would love to throw back to first, as David Cooper was just backing into the bag. So Desmond has his first hit of the night.
0-2. Fastball up. That's where he got strike number 1, and somehow Desmond is able to stay on top of it and rip it into right field. He had thoughts of possibly going to first base.
Ian Desmond runs well. Not an easy guy to consider trying to throw back of like that. So Desmond leads from first. Danny Espinosa stands in 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Switch hitter turns around and bats right-handed now against Luis Perez. It's been Brandon Morrow, Chad Beck, and third pitcher of the night, Luis Perez. Brandon Morrow lasted just into 2 hitters. Gave up a leadoff double to Steve Lombardozzi, and then over a series of about what looked like maybe 3-4 pitches, started to pull that left oblique. Blue Jays got him out, and there was no doubt about the need. John Farrell quickly making that decision, and then word started to filter back from the clubhouse area, the training room, as to the condition of Brandon Morrow, and the word we got is that it is indeed a left oblique strain and day to day, and that is just about as good a news as you could imagine.
We'll probably wait and then see how he feels tomorrow when he wakes up, and then make a determination that if we're hoping that he doesn't have to go on the disabled list. His next start is for Sunday, scheduled for Sunday. We're hoping that he doesn't have to go on the DL, but I think tomorrow is going to tell a lot how he feels and what the direction and decisions the Blue Jays are going to have to make.
Diving stop, knocking it down. Kelly Johnson won't have a play. Stopping at second base is Ian Desmond. That's an infield single. Back-to-back hits against Perez. Well, I think you're on the money. Obviously, when Brandon Morrow comes in tomorrow, all eyes will be on him, and the training staff is going to want to know right away, how do you feel? Where does this leave you feeling in terms of staying on the active roster? Maybe not even talking about pitching that next time around, but do you feel like you might be able to be close at that point to pitch within a day or two of that point?
Then you're really messing up with the starting rotation. I think the call's already been made that to get another arm up here just in case, and that's the problem that the Blue Jays have when their AAA team is all the way out on the West Coast. Don't be surprised, and I'm just going to throw this out there to you, Ash. Brett Cecil is scheduled to pitch tomorrow for the AA team. His next turn then is Sunday. This Sunday. I mean, that's a possibility if Brandon Morrow's got to miss some time. So we're just throwing that out there.
Jesse Chavez, another name that pitched for the ball club, did a nice job, didn't really get that chance to stay, went back down to stretch things back out. So he's a guy you would think about.
Well, a game like tonight where you've really got to use your bullpen basically for 9 innings minimum can really set you back. And when I say that the call's already been made, maybe the call's already been made for a pitcher like a Jesse Chavez to come up into this bullpen for a couple of days and make sure everything is okay. They can get through the next few games.
What would you say to this? The call's already been made. Somebody is already lined up to get on a plane and come this way, but the decision hasn't been made yet as to whether they will be activated and Brandon Morrow put on the DL.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Happens all the time. There might be 2 players possibly coming to Toronto.
Xavier Nady with his first plate appearance could be a double play ball. Escobar to Johnson, takes a little time, but still gets the double play. Kelly Johnson didn't get rid of the ball nearly as quickly as we normally see, but the 6-4-3 results and 2 outs with Ian Desmond at third base.
That's okay. The ball, tailor-made double play. Right to Escobar, flips it to Johnson. Still has enough time to complete the double play. That's the 67th double play that the Blue Jays have made this year. And Escobar and Johnson have been involved in pretty much every one of them.
Tip here and Sevilla having a little issue with that catcher's mitt this evening. There's been a wild pitch. There's been a pass ball. Well, that ball just kicking right out of the glove. Players used to always say, get the spring out. From the stretch, Perez. Oh, that's a nice changeup.
Well, he's got a good one and a good breaking ball and a good tailing fastball. And again, when he was in the minor leagues with the Blue Jays, Pat Hankin did some work down there with him. He said he's so proud of him, how he has harnessed that good stuff, and here he is in the big leagues producing.
Another swing and a miss.
Throw it again.
Some guys just can't hit a particular off-speed pitch. They'll swing at that arm speed time and time again.
They didn't look real comfortable after those 2 change-ups. There's Flores.
Well, there it was again, but this time laying off is Flores. Washington's catcher 0 for 2 on the night. He lined one into right field with 2 outs in the second inning. Looked like a sure base hit bid, but not in the eyes of Jose Bautista, who made a terrific diving play. Brett Lawrie has also flashed leather tonight. From the slide step. Nationals with 8 hits against the Blue Jays pitching tonight. The Blue Jays just 2 hits. Young Bryce Harper has reached base all 3 plate appearances. A couple of hits and a walk. He's stolen a base. He's scored a pair. Changeup just getting a piece is Flores. That man right there, Adam LaRoche, has homered, his 11th on the year, a no doubt shot to right field. Has a brother, Andy, and of course his father, Dave LaRoche. I always hate even thinking of having these words come out of my mouth, but a teammate of mine a few years back got him swinging. So Perez gets the strikeout, and that'll do it for the Nats. No runs, 2 hits. They leave a man. As the Blue Jays come to bat, it'll be Colby Rasmus, Jose Bautista, and Edwin Encarnacion. tonight, right after our game, it'll be the Angels and Dodgers on Pacific and West. How about that shot of downtown Toronto? What a gorgeous sight.
The Angels are hot too. Angels and the Giants playing.
Texas Rangers looked like they were going to run away and hide, but not so much anymore. The Angels just 3 games back.
Yeah, they are not going to make it easy on the Texas Rangers this year.
Colby Rasmus leads it off. 1 for 2. That one, a bomb of a home run to right field, is 9th on the year. RBI number 29. That's all of the Blue Jays scoring against Edwin Jackson, who has allowed just a couple of hits. In my scorebook and Tabby's scorebook, 3 hits on the night,
Yeah,
but
we have 3.
not up on the big board that way. Error charge to Ryan Zimmerman on a ball that was scalded by J.P. Arancibia.
Now 7 for 12 in his career against Edwin Jackson.
Here's a softly hit liner into right field, but coming on to make the play, that's Nady in right field as Harper has taken over in center field. Fan thinks he has it, but that just leaves others potentially endangered. Oh, what is the matter with me?
Put the hot dog down if you're going to make that play, right?
Oh, no. You got to be able to get on TV tomorrow with hot dog in hand and make that play, and then slam the hot dog while you're holding the baseball.
Oh, he still got the baseball.
Oh, that's true.
It's nice.
Bautista takes a tough slider out of the zone. One out here in the 6th inning. 2-0 the count. We got word now on Roger Bernardina, the center fielder for these Washington Nationals, as he came out of the game after going 1st to 3rd on a wild pitch. That back in the 4th inning, apparently straining a right hamstring. Sure didn't look that way in watching Bernardina. He looked like maybe the knee had jammed in the ground.
Yeah, that's what it looked like when he got up. He feels better. He's a nice little player. He was an original draft pick by the Montreal Expos. Bernardino.
One of the longest tenured members of this ball club. Bautista draws the walk, so he'll be at first for Edwin Encarnacion.
I got to make it pay right here after walking Bautista on 4 pitches.
Edwin 0 for 2 on the night. He has struck out. One of the 2 strikeouts picked up by Edwin Jackson. Blue Jays have not had many base runners. Big swing and a miss. Swing one of those home run swings for Edwin right here would be just what the Blue Jays need to try to get back in this game quickly.
Strong enough to hit it out of any ballpark in baseball. His timing this year has been a lot better. That's why his numbers have been put up the way that he has. He doesn't have to muscle the ball. Just put a good pass on it and good things will happen.
Jackson with a 4-1 lead has his mind on Jose Bautista at first base. Sometimes you wonder. Jackson had retired 10 in a row before this walk to Bautista. It's close, but he misses away. Jackson works at a nice pace with nobody on base, but once he gets some runners, boy, does he slow it down.
Yeah, slows it down. It really takes a long look at Bautista. Again, I don't think he's going to be going here. It's like in the first inning after he walked.
Not a big lead by Jose. Again, holding on to the baseball. Another fastball thrown right over the bat of Encarnacion. He looks like a guy who's asking himself, how am I missing this?
Yeah, he's seeing it. Fastball in the inner half.
With the 0 for 2 night against Jackson tonight, Edwin is now 1 for 9 lifetime against Edwin, but that one hit a home run. Right-hander set. Boy, that's close.
And a young player out in center field, not real familiar with the ballpark. Or look how deep Bryce Harper is playing out in center field.
Lombardozzi in left field as well.
That is maybe 2 or 3 steps from the warning track, and I guess it's not real familiar with the ball club, the Blue Jays, not familiar with the ballpark. So he's going to play it safe and play a little bit deeper than normal.
I wonder if it's coming from the bench. What it looks like is that late inning scenario, the no doubles, as the outfielders back up toward the wall.
It's not late yet. It's only the 6th inning. Yeah. He's not the tying run.
Yeah, it doesn't figure to be that late inning scenario, but because in left field Lombardozzi's playing awfully deep, it makes you wonder a bit.
I think it's easier to come in on a ball than go back.
There's one to go back on. Nady in right field has room on the track. He'll haul it in, second out of the inning. So Bautista back to first base. Edwin gave it a ride, but not quite enough.
Yeah, he just missed that one. Again, strong enough to hit it out of any part of the ballpark, but Jackson just a little bit too quick with that fastball.
So Kelly Johnson will stand in. Edwin grabbed his bat. You see that happen sometimes. Guys will go sit down with their bat and have that conversation that nobody else is involved in.
Did you used to talk to your bats?
No, I did not. They used to scream at me at times. Kelly Johnson 0 for 2 on the night. Funniest bat routine you've seen?
Where someone would talk to him? Or?
Well, whatever it was. For instance, I had a teammate when I first came to the big leagues, and there's Edwin with his bat. Leo Cardenas. And he'd wrap his bats in the sanitary socks.
Yeah.
And put cologne on there. Make sure it smelled really nice as he put the bats away for the night. He'd keep them in those sanitaries up until the moment he was going to use them.
He was nice to his bats.
Very kind. And they were, at least at the time, in my estimation, the best smelling bats in the league.
He put cologne on them. I guess it was.
4-1 Washington here in the 6th inning. So you don't have one of those stories, huh?
Well, I'm thinking that's so long ago, right? The worst, the guy who didn't take care of his bats. How about George Brett? All the pine tar from head to toe.
Yeah, but that was intentional. That was for the look. And you still see guys that do that. It was all about the look. It didn't matter if you went too far into the barrel. It looked good.
Yeah, we all wanted to be like that, didn't we?
Wanted a nice light bat so you could put 3 or 4 ounces of pine tar on there. Slider got him. So that'll do it for Kelly Johnson and the Blue Jays here in the 6th inning. They leave him in on the walk to Bautista. 4-1 the Nats lead it, and Edwin Jackson just continues to dominate. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and transcriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Downtown Toronto, gorgeous in the night lights. Right here in the Rogers Center. Nice evening for the Washington Nationals to this point as they lead it 4-1. Turning to bunt and dropping one left side, and it's going to roll. Will it roll foul? It will not, as it stays inside the bag. A leadoff bunt single here in the 7th inning by the leadoff man, Steve Lombardozzi.
You couldn't take a ball at home plate and roll it up the third base line any better than what we just saw from Lombardozzi. Squares around, drops it down the third base line, and right there he can just walk because Brett Lawrie's only play is to let it roll and hope it goes foul, but you can see from that it's just going to twist and turn back into fair territory.
Nice true turf as that ball rolled. Bryce Harper will stand in. A couple of hits, he's walked. 2 for 2. Stolen a base, scored a pair. The kid can play. Hitting .292, 6 home runs. Got off to a bit of a slow start. That's all been pretty much forgotten at this point.
I love that comparison to the first 38 games in his big league career with another 19-year-old who was in the big leagues, Ken Griffey Jr. And he was right there with him.
Junior started sporting that hat backwards, and it became such a big trend. What is Bryce Harper going to do?
He's not going to do that. I
know
that. His big thing, he's got the eye black.
Grounds one up the middle, so he's got his 3rd hit on the night. He reaches for the 4th time. Stopping at second is Lombardozzi. And the Nationals now have 10 hits against Blue Jays pitching. Pitching that started with Brandon Morrow working just to 2 hitters, and this is going to be the last hitter for Luis Perez as John Farrell comes out. And by the way, a 2nd straight hit against left-hand pitching for Harper as he has to be up around that 400 mark now against left-hand pitching.
Doesn't give in, stays right in there. Luis Perez night is over. Jason Frazier jogs in from the bullpen. Blue Jays trying to keep it a 3-run game.
Had to get out to the mound quickly as what he saw from Brandon Morrow looked something like this.
These are the last 3 pitches. Watch him kind of tweak his left side there as he moves his back just a little bit. And we caught this later in the ball game. As you can see, something is just not right. That's not Brandon Morrow. He kind of twists once again and stretches that left side and feels that oblique's trying to pull, and then after that one, as he pulls it across the plate, he calls out the training staff and John Farrell, and that was it for Brandon Morrow tonight. So decisions to be made by the Blue Jays. And the biggest decision right now is to get through this game and try and hold the Nationals right here so you can try and win the game.
Jason Frazier comes on. He has that assignment. Runners at first and second and nobody out. Jason Frazier on the season. Yeah, he would like to probably polish up some of that. He's done a nice job against the right-hand hitters.
It's a couple of outings where he got beat. The one in Texas comes to mind with the walk-off home run. But overall has done a very good job.
Don't believe he had allowed a home run until that game you're referring to in Arlington. Pitch is fouled loudly down the right field side. Jason Frazier is now 34 years of age. Ryan Zimmerman at the plate, 1 for 3. Had a 5th inning single. Good time for that double play ground ball.
Yeah. 6-4-3. The Blue Jays got one after the first 2 batters got on last inning. This is the 3rd straight inning that the Nationals have gotten their first 2 batters on base with singles. And each time the pitching has tightened up just a little bit and kept them off the scoreboard.
Blue Jays have turned 1 double play. That came in the 6th inning, started by Yunel Escobar. Frazier, very much like Jackson of the Nationals, slows it down with men on base, and Ryan Zimmerman just says that's enough. A little bit of that bat waggle by Zimmerman. Frazier needed every bit of time there to find a signal, and he gets the strikeout on the high cheese.
He got the right one. Stepped off. And J. Pierre and Seabee go through it once again. He wanted the high fastball right at the top of the strike zone. Too tempting to lay off of it. Picks up the strikeout.
More than any other Blue Jays pitcher, Jason Frazier seems to need to see signs multiple times. And I can only reflect back to my time catching with guys that did that, and quite frankly I never exactly knew why certain guys had that need.
Unsure, not sure what they want to do. They want to see them all.
Adam LaRoche takes a strike, 1 for 3 with a 2-run home run. That came in the 3rd inning. Those were runs 3 and 4 for these Washington Nationals. First to 3 here between the 2 clubs. We'll get a chance to see maybe the signs, see what Jason Frazier's seeing.
Got that? You know what that is?
I don't, but Jason does. Fastball hit through the left side. That's a base hit. Lombardozzi stopped at third base as Rajay gets it back in. So the Nationals have him loaded up with 3 hits here in the inning. And that'll bring up a big, powerful DH, Mike Morse.
LaRoche is putting together a good year. Adam LaRoche stays right with that outside fastball. Shoots it through the left side. No chance to score because the ball was hit so hard by Adam LaRoche. Now you need that ground ball right here.
Lombardozzi, Harper, and LaRoche, the base runners. Mike Morse has driven in a run with a sac fly. He is singled and popped out. So 1 for 2 on the night.
He put on a display in batting practice today. Home runs into the 4th and 5th deck.
Reminds me a bit of Jose Canseco in terms of size at the plate.
Yeah, you're right. 6'5" is Michael Morse. 245 pounds. Again, last season, 31 home runs for Washington.
Checks his swing. And Frazier needs that ground ball. but he's a guy who doesn't create many ground balls.
He's done a good job with his right-handers of keeping the ball away from him and pinning that outside corner.
Here we go, wanting to see the signs once again. And Aaron Sebia has to go through 2 or 3 series of signs to try to find the one Jason wants again. Let's see if this one will work. Sometimes as a catcher, and Aaron Sebia calls time, you know you've put every conceivable option down twice, and you ask yourself, where do I turn now?
I think this might have to do with location. Watching JP, and I don't know what the Blue Jays signs are, but it looks like JP was trying to look for that fastball in. And again, Frazier's very good at keeping the ball away from right-handers. Morris has hit a couple of ground balls to the right side on balls that were away from him.
Slider hit in the air, shallow into center. Rasmus coming. He'll make the catch. This is too shallow to be able to score. And Colby uncorks a good throw to the plate. So a key second out here in the 7th inning. It's still 4-1 Nationals, and the Blue Jays would love to be able to keep it right here to give the offense the chance.
And that's what it was for Frazier. He wanted that ball away. Threw him a slider. 2-0. Colby Rasmus comes hard, calls off Kelly Johnson, and then uncorks the ball towards home plate.
You could see right after he made the catch, the eyes averted quickly toward third. And that's how a major league outfielder informs his corner outfielders how many outs there are. So here in the inning, leadoff single by Steve Lombardozzi, a bunt single, a base hit by Bryce Harper, his 3rd of the night, and then Adam LaRoche grounded one through the left side. With 2 down, it brings up the shortstop, Ian Desmond. See, when it's a fastball like that, I kind of more get it in and out, and sometimes you don't see the one you're looking for. When it's a slider, the vast majority of the time to the right-hand hitter, it's going to be the away pitch, and that's what Jason seemed to be able to get that second out of the inning with. And here we go through those signs once again. Fastball on the hands, hit into the hole and into right field. That's a base hit. Bautista's throw to the plate will keep a second run from scoring. Lombardozzi crosses the plate. It's now 5-1. Washington on top, and the bases remain loaded. So this is the second hit given up by Jason Frazier, in each case opposite field. One by Adam LaRoche, and now Ian Desmond.
Outside for strike one, and now they try to go back inside. How about that approach by Desmond? He picks up his 2nd hit of the night, and RBI, somehow keeping that ball fair with that swing.
Looked like a very good pitch in terms of quality, but not much you can do when a guy puts that kind of a almost funky swing on it and winds up with the base hit. Danny Espinosa stands in. The switch hitter turns around again and bats left-handed and fouls it back. It's 31 RBIs now for the Washington shortstop, Ian Desmond.
Boy, he's a good player. He's got athleticism. He plays a demanding position at shortstop, and he's putting up some big numbers. 8 home runs, 7 for 9 in stolen bases. This is a good team. This is our first chance of seeing the Washington Nationals. This is a good team.
Change up from Jason, misses away. Blue Jays play 18 interleague games this year. Rick Ankiel has grabbed a bat. He is in the on-deck circle. That's the Xavier Nady spot in the order, originally started by Roger Bernardino. Ground ball to first. Backing is Cooper. He'll feed underhand to Frazier at the bag, and that'll do it for the Nats in the 7th inning. But they pick up a run on 4 hits and leave 3. 5-1 Washington. Food drive coming up this weekend during the Phillies series. Bring your non-perishable food items and cash donations to gates 3, 5, 10, and 13, all in support of Food Banks Canada. Mystery bags will also be available for a donation of $25 or more. For tickets, call 416-341-1234 or go online to BlueJays.com. You can also do it at most Rogers Plus locations. Defensive changes now again for Washington. Rick Ankiel comes in. He'll go to center field. That means that Brian Harper, who started in right, went to center. Make that Bryce Harper. Went to center field, is now back in right field. So it's Ankiel in center, Harper in right. Escobar leads it off. First pitch swinging. Towers one to right center field. So Bryce Harper with the play, and out number 1. David Cooper 0 for 2 on the night will stand in against Edwin Jackson, who has made it look easy here this evening.
He has used his fastball, and he is sinking the fastball just a little bit more. He's always had the good stuff, and now putting it all together. We were talking earlier about him throwing a no-hitter. That was back in 2010 when he was a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks. It was against the Tampa Bay Rays. He won that game 1-0. The run scored by an Adam LaRoche home run. His teammate here now in Washington.
And throwing that no-hitter against Tampa Bay, his old teammates.
Yep. We knew him. There's LaRoche, homered in that game, in the 1-0 game, and also homered here tonight.
You know, I think of Dave LaRoche oftentimes, especially when I see Adam LaRoche, and Dave was such a good teammate. I was with him with the Cleveland Indians back in the 70s, and he threw that very famous pitch it became, the lob. Just would lob it toward the plate and let it arc in, and hitters had nightmares with that pitch.
Did you ever have to catch it?
I did. Pitch is in the dirt. Most of the time, unfortunately, at that time in the bullpen.
So there wasn't a sign for
well,
it.
he would actually do it on his own. It would come on either the fastball or the changeup. Either way. Yeah. Plant that lead foot and then just go into the launch mode. Cooper towers one into left center field. Shortstop going back. That's Desmond with the call. He'll make the catch.
Want a better tasting burger? Then step up to the plate for a sirloin Uncle Burger at A&W. Made with 5 ounces of juicy sirloin, it's a taste of burger bliss.
All right, I'm hungry now. 2 down, bases empty for J. Pierre Ancibia. who officially does not have a hit on the night. He's 0 for 2. In my book, he is 1 for 2.
They still haven't changed it.
Yeah, that's just incredible, the error that was charged to Zimmerman on the rocket in the second inning. Early in the season, Jose Bautista just ate up a third baseman. I believe it was Evan Longoria, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Ate him up. And play was ruled an error. And I didn't get it at the time. It never was changed.
You know, playing on this carpet and you're not used to it, and a ball smoked like that ball was at a good third baseman, a guy who's got a reputation of a Gold Glove play at third base. If he can't make the play, there's nothing else that it can be.
Pitch is high. Well, there was that edict allegedly given to scorekeepers prior to the season this year that said if a ball is hit this way to an infielder, it's an error. If it's hit this way, it's a base hit. I don't know how you can give an edict on scoring without seeing the actual play.
Yeah.
Because that implies that a ball that's hit 120 some miles an hour is the same as a ball hit 50 miles an hour.
Or to your left if you get the glove on it. I believe that's what the edict said, that if a major leaguer can get his glove on it, it should be caught.
It also said parts about if it's right at the body, this and that. And for me, it's and I'll use the word ludicrous to try to preset what plays are supposed to be called without seeing the play. 2-2 pitch. That's lined. And still no hits for Aaron Sebia as it lands just foul. Yeah, what would you have felt like as a major league hitter if you'd hit that ball? Aaron Sebia hit early in the ball game and you saw error go on the board.
In my home ballpark?
Yeah.
I'd be chapped.
Yeah, a lot of people say, well, it shouldn't matter home or road ballpark.
Yes, it does.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah, and even if you were on the road, what would you think?
To hit?
Absolutely. Good slider down and away. No is the call. Coming back down at first base, Adrian Johnson. So Aaron Sebia has the count full.
Boy, that's the slider, the put away pitch that Edwin Jackson has used this year. It's tight breaking. You don't get a lot of spin on it. Looks like he's going to go right back to it.
Just 2 Toronto hits against Edwin Jackson. And now the third walk of the night as Aaron Sebia takes it with 2 outs. Nationals will make that phone call to the bullpen and make sure they are ready. Rajay Davis comes to the plate. So Edwin Jackson works it into the 7th inning. Every manager's delight. Can you get 7 innings out of your starter? So they've gotten just about all of that and a 5-1 lead. Nice play at first base, just dropping to his right. LaRoche will make the play, step on the bag, and the Blue Jays can't find a hole. That'll do it for Toronto in the 7th. They leave a man on the walk as we go to the 8th. It's 5-1. Nats on top. About Budweiser, great times are waiting. Please enjoy responsibly.
Fifth inning, Bryce Harper's on first base. There's going to be a base hit to right field, and this is not a smart play. Challenging the arm of Jose Bautista. Wide turn by Harper, and Bautista guns him down easily at third base, where the smart play occurred. Again, base hit to right field. Bautista comes up throwing, and he learned. You can't run on Jose Bautista as Bryce Harper goes back to third.
It's fun watching those throws of Jose Bautista, how he keeps them down. They're cuttable. Other runners can't move up. He is spectacular defensively in right field, but also spectacular. Bryce Harper, what a night he has had. 3 hits, reaching all 4 times. For the Blue Jays, they turn to their bullpen once again. Francisco Cordero will come on.
There are the numbers for Cordero. He has been on the mound the last couple of times where the other team walked off. So a 1-4 record. He lost it in the bottom of the 10th in Chicago to Orlando Hudson's base hit, and then Jason Hayward scoring on an error. So Cordero here getting some work in a 5-1 game.
And his first pitch dips below the knees. Rick Ankiel, his first at bat of the night. Now playing in center field. Former pitcher, a guy who had power, ran into problems with the thing, as the guys call it, just couldn't throw the baseball toward home plate, and eventually became an outfielder because of his abilities offensively, and it's worked out pretty well.
I'll tell you, I admire him for what he has gone through. This was a rising star, a left-handed fireballer on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals. Tony La Russa had him start in the playoffs. Game 1. But when that inability to throw consistent strikes happened, he went back down to the minor leagues, learned to be an everyday player.
He drives one to left center field, back at the wall. This one's getting out.
And he has become a good player. And Keel with power the other way against Cordero. Wow.
Yeah, this is what Tony La Russa saw. A guy who, along with the pitchers, he'd take his batting practice. He could drive the baseball. Of course, he got to swing the bat in the National League, and they realized he could hit. And he got to that point, he just could not even play catch with the catcher. And this power has become very valuable.
Yeah, in center field. Another good move by Davey Johnson, putting him in the bottom of last inning to lead off now in the top half of the inning against Cordero, and it pays off with another home run by the Nationals.
6-1 Nats on top. Here's a drive right center, deep at the wall. This one hits the top of the wall and comes back in. Jesus Flores jogs into second base with a 2-bagger.
Boy, that was inches from going out to right field, and there's really nothing John Farrell can do. His bullpen is depleted right now, and you've got to take one for the team. The long home run the other way by Ankiel, and now Flores the other way. Watch where this one hits, right off the top of the wall. And there's a bar on this fence, and that kicks it back into play, so it'll be a double. A lot of times you see it hit off the top of the wall like that and bounce out, but the bar pushes it back into fair play.
You know, it's been a tough season to this point for Francisco Cordero. Guy who's had a great career. Most saves in the major leagues over the last 5 years among all pitchers. And yet, again, a tough season to this point.
12th on the all-time list at 329 saves. Just 2 for 5 in save opportunities this year.
Pitch is popped up on the right side. Kelly Johnson calling. Jose Bautista continues to come on, and Johnson will make the play. First down here in the 8th inning. And now Bryce Harper again. Bryce Harper, 3 for 3 on the night. He's walked, he's scored a pair, he's stolen a base, he's driven in a run. All 3 hits singles for Harper. and 2 of those against left-hand pitching. And that's who he has actually dominated so far this season. Tough pitch to block that splitter in the dirt, and Aaron Sevilla does a great job. The double by Flores off the top of the wall, just his 3rd on the season. He's at second. 6-1 Washington leading here in game 1. How he lays off. Speaking of Bryce Harper, that big bending breaking ball downward, starts in the strike zone, ends up low, and boy, he cranks up too.
2-0 breaking ball from Cordero. So he's got good pitch recognition.
Does that say respect?
Respect, and then his ability to lay off of it.
Well, I'm talking from Cordero's perspective. A 2-0 breaking ball rather than coming with the heat.
First base open.
Yeah, well, that plays in. A lot of rookies may not see that pitch.
Yeah. A lot of rookies are swinging at that pitch.
That was a great example. He swings and misses out in front and over the change, but his head was right down on the position.
Yeah. And a short, compact swing. We were talking about it earlier in the game, how he gets good leverage on every swing.
Well, he strikes out, but if you get a chance to watch these swings, as he's fooled, the head doesn't get fooled. He stays right on it.
Short swing, that's what you want to see from a good hitter.
Look at his eyes stand right there.
And it stays there.
2 down here in the inning. 3-hitter Ryan Zimmerman comes to the plate. Boy, that head is a key factor in why he's handling so many pitches well. I had a feeling it was going to be easy to like Bryce Harper, but boy, this has been impressive.
All facets of the game that we have seen tonight in the outfield. I want to see him throw. We talked to some of the Nationals people, and they say that he's got a great arm in the outfield.
Hot shot right to short. Escobar's there. He'll throw on to first, and that'll do it for the Nats in the 8th. They get a run on the home run and leave a man on the double. And now it's time for a Blue Jay Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Jose Cruz Jr. in the Blackberry broadcast studio. Saturday with the Phillies in town. Take advantage of special kids price tickets in the 200 and 500 level outfield seats. After the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. For tickets, call 416-341-1234 or go to BlueJays.com. Also, you can check it out at Rogers Plus locations. Fans having a good time. Would love to see a little offense from the Blue Jays here in this 8th inning.
They just haven't been able to put anything together against Edwin Jackson. He has walked Jose Bautista a couple of times, 2 walks altogether. There are his line. Just 3 strikeouts. And the 2 hits from Jackson. And as we head into the 8th inning, he has only thrown 95 pitches, so there's plenty left.
Yeah, a bit unusual in terms of the strikeouts. He came in with 59 strikeouts in 72 innings. So this would be below that figure. But I'm sure David Johnson, the skipper of the Nats, would say, I'll take this anytime. Top of the order for the Blue Jays, Brett Lawrie. Pretty hittable pitch, but you're also trying to see if you can work something. Get some base runners and then get some big swings. Blue Jays found a way yesterday in the 5th inning at Atlanta.
Yeah, you're right. You need base runners right now, any way you can.
Nationals to go with their 6 runs have pounded out 14 hits tonight. Not what you anticipate when Brandon Morrow draws the start. Michael Gonzalez and Brad Lidge. Lidge the right-hander. Gonzalez obviously the lefty. Brad Lidge trying to get healthy again and have some impact with this club. Slider, the bat started. Lawrie strong enough to hold it back. Really impressive to see Edwin Jackson cutting down on the walks this year the way he has. Slider, a little dribbler right off the end of the bat. Jackson handles that easily. That's out number 1 here in the 8th.
You know, I think it's from him using the fastball just a little bit more this year. That was pitch number 100 on the evening for Edwin Jackson. He is using his slider a little bit less than what he used last year, about 10% less, and using his fastball more. And when you do that, when you've got that type of fastball, I think he's starting to finally figure out that it's tough to hit. And it's tough to hit when you're constantly filling up that strike zone with strikes.
Colby Rasmus stands in. He has provided the Blue Jays offense tonight. A 1st inning solo home run, his 9th of the year. One of the rare curveballs from Jackson on the evening. Colby pops it foul. Rasmus with that batting average just below 250 at 249. Boy, does he become a valuable player when he swings the bat the way he has of late, the way he can play center field.
A little bit in between the first month and a half, taking a lot of pitches, trying to be too fine. And I think he was trying to hit the ball the other way instead of going up there and being the type of hitter that he is. And that's an aggressive type of hitter.
Pops one down the left side, giving chase Zimmerman. He'll make a nice play on the track. That's 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Edwin Jackson working at 2 outs in the 8th inning to Jose Bautista. Jackson has walked 3, and that's above what he's done on the course of the year as he came in with just the 19 walks. But he has made, again, this game look easy. Bautista 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Good slider to start him.
That's late. That breaking slider is late. As a hitter, you can usually pick it up by the spin. You know, everybody talks about, well, you see the red dot from the threads of the baseball, but that spin, not a lot of spin, and it's a late breaker.
There's that fastball at the knees after the leadoff slider. That's what a first pitch breaking ball, if thrown for a strike, can do. You leave the hitter now guessing, maybe guessing off speed once again. Slider hit in the air toward right field. Shallow coming on is Harper. He'll make the catch. The Blue Jays go quietly in the 8th inning. 1-2-3. Edwin Jackson enjoying his night, even though he says no, maybe not. Handshake, and that means he's going to be done with his night. Davey Johnson, the skipper, goes over. Big smile on the skip's face, and that's always a good sign for a pitcher.
It's always a good sign when you go 8 innings like Edwin Jackson did and give up just 1 run. So they will figure it out with 3 of the next 4 batters left-handers. We might see a lefty to try and finish it out for the Nationals. On the Blue Jays side, Carlos Villanueva becomes the 5th reliever of this game for Toronto. Villanueva pitched in yesterday's game, pitched 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, a walk and a strikeout, and picked up his first win of the game. He was awarded the win after Ricky Ramirez could only go 4 innings. Blue Jays came back to take the lead in the 5th and got his first win of the season.
So we're set for the 9th inning. Carlos Villanueva's assignment, keep it right here. LaRoche takes away. A night that saw Brandon Morrow work to just 2 hitters and then pulled that oblique on the left side. We've been told day to day. Tomorrow we'll check in and see how everything goes with Brandon. Find out how the Blue Jays decide to play this one.
Hopefully they'll err on the side of caution because he's such a valuable pitcher. And that's such a tough area.
Towering pop up on the left side with that shift on. It leaves only Brett Lawrie over there to make the play. And now for a preview of what's coming up on Connected, here's Ken Reed and Ivanka Osmak. With 1 out, the DH Mike Morse at the plate. Big man. Villanueva misses in. So as we mentioned that Brandon Morrow had to come out due to the injury back in the 1st inning. Blue Jays with 6 pitchers on the night. Morrow, Beck, Luis Perez, Jason Frazier, Francisco Cordero, and now Carlos Villanueva. And with all those pitchers coming in, the Nationals 14 hits on the night. Little jam shot fly ball to center. Rasmus reads it perfectly. And now an update as we turn to Jamie Campbell. Ian Desmond will stand in. 2 for 4 on the night. Chad Beck is the guy who ate up the innings for the Blue Jays tonight. 3 2/3. Did allow a couple of earned runs. The fastball just keeps running in. Couple of home runs on the night for these Nationals. Adam LaRoche and Rick Ankiel. Little dribbler out in front of the plate. Grabbing it and applying the tag is Aaron Sebia. So a 1-2-3 ninth inning turned in by Carlos Villanueva. Last chance for the Blue Jays as they trail it 6-1. These two clubs back at it tomorrow night. You can join us for the pregame show at 6:30. Henderson Alvarez will go to the mound 3-5 against veteran right-hander Chin-Ming Wong of the Nationals. And there he is. Guy that would love to see this offense once again. Henderson Alvarez would love to get it. We were wrong. David Johnson apparently was issuing a congratulations, you get to go out for the ninth inning to Edwin Jackson.
He does have a 9-inning complete game against the Cincinnati Reds. That was back on April the 14th. It only took him 92 pitches to throw that complete game.
106 pitches starting the inning here for Edwin Jackson. David Johnson apparently has liked what he's seen. Edwin Encarnacion drives one deep to left center. It's going to stay in the park. Kicks away from Ankiel. Into second is Edwin Encarnacion with a double.
I'm sure Edwin Jackson is on a short leash from Davy Johnson, giving him one chance to throw the complete game, but the first batter gets on with the double, and he's going to make the move with some lefties coming up. Jackson, what an outing. He was qualified as having an average of just 13.9 pitches per inning, which is the best in all of Major League Baseball, and he showed why tonight.
So on that 13th double by Edwin Encarnacion, the Nats will turn to their bullpen. Then the inability to close it out with a complete game. He was awfully good tonight.
Yeah, he got him into the 9th inning. Second longest outing of his season, and he will turn it over now to Sean Burnett. Look at those numbers that Burnett possesses. A left-on-left specialist, 0.95 earned run average. Right-handers hitting 182. Tough to get the ball in the air against him. He's got great movement on all of his pitches. Fastball, curveball, slider. His best pitch, though, is a changeup.
Spots that fastball well at 89. So the Nats really get the formula tonight. They get the outstanding starting pitching. They get the power game with a couple of home runs. They pound out 14 hits.
Play good defense. That was part of the equation tonight also. LaRoche has made a couple of nice plays over at first base.
Also slamming a home run. He's been a key part. All around, it's been a solid effort by a ball club that's playing in first place in the National League East. Big sweeping slider.
His slider has helped him to get the left-handers out. Has an excellent understanding of pitching. Reads the ball around. Doesn't really blow the ball by you, but he's got all kind of movement on every one of his pitches.
Kelly Johnson affected by the left-hander, down on strikes for the second time on the night. That's one out here in the ninth. Leadoff double by Edwin Encarnacion, and Escobar will come to the plate. 0 for 3. Kelly Johnson, by the way, 0 for 4 with that night to go along with the 2 strikeouts. Just the 4th strikeout by Washington pitching.
When you give 8 innings like Edwin Jackson does, you can sit back. You see him still. He's still breathing hard.
Yeah, he was thinking. He was seeing something going on there. Wonder, do you see some of the pitches after you've performed like tonight and just kind of replay them and try to see if you can project those to your next start?
Yeah, he did a great job tonight. He was in command. He got a lot of ground ball outs.
You can see Escobar asking for timeout and got it from the home plate umpire.
You know what I was impressed with was his command. 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio from Jackson, the best of his career. Command of the strike zone much better. And then you turn it over to the bullpen. And this bullpen for the Washington Nationals ranked 3rd in the National League in terms of earned run average.
Wonder how Jackson feels about the aspect that he picked up just 3 strikeouts tonight while walking 3 and yet just breezed.
Yeah, I think he's totally fine with that. That he's not striking guys out. Just runs up the pitch count. Right?
That was the big story early in the season for Brandon Morrow. Try to cut down on pitch count. It seemed to work for him. Looked like he was throwing 2-seamers quite a bit. But in recent times, he's become more that power pitcher with the 4-seamer.
Yeah, he's been pitching great baseball.
He has.
Over his last couple of starts. I mean, top drawer type of stuff.
Well, Brandon Morrow is an ace in my mind. And nobody could convince me otherwise. He sees his ERA with that 1 earned run without getting an out tonight go from 290 to 301. But I find myself a bit like John Farrell, maybe wondering what comes tomorrow with Brandon Morrow.
We would find out. And unfortunately, he faced one and a half batters, if you will. And because the Blue Jays could not come back and tie it, he would.
If you missed that injury back in the first inning, Brandon Morrow was working to his second hitter. And at this point, he had already flinched a few times with that left rib cage area, and Brandon at that point just says, come on out, I can't do this anymore. It's just not going to work. Three balls and 2 strikes. Escobar taps one foul. Encarnacion walks backward into that lead. A lot of times you're just looking to see where the outfielders are playing, where the infielders are in relation to second base. So Escobar down on strikes. That's his first time on the night. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Sean Burnett.
Burnett, 22 scoreless appearances in his 24 games this year, and you can see why. That breaking ball down and away. Got good stuff.
Now the Blue Jays down to just 1 out. And David Cooper will not come to the plate against the left-hander. Right-hand hitting Yan Gomes will grab a bat. Yan Gomes had, in my book, the key swing in yesterday's comeback victory for the Blue Jays at Atlanta.
I was reading the same book.
Yeah. Pinch hitting. And that was just the Blue Jays' second pinch hit on the season in the 27th at bat.
Yeah, they were 1 for 26 before that. I agree with you. That was the biggest hit in that big inning that the Blue Jays put up in the 5th inning.
It set things up. It wasn't one of the big producers, but what an at bat he had as he fouls one back here. Yan Gomes hitting an even 200. He has shown pop with the bat, that against the New York Mets. He has shown that he can play defensively at first, third, or behind the plate.
Even got some time in the outfield in Chicago.
Yeah. Hits one high and deep to left center field. Will the park hold it? Lombardozzi at the wall, leaps. It's out of here. Yan Gomes, a second straight pinch hit. This one a 2-run home run, and the Blue Jays draw closer. It's now 6-3 Washington.
You mentioned all the positions that he can play, first, third, catch in the outfield. His best position is up at the home plate. He can swing the bat.
Put the wood in his hands. Home run number 3, a towering drive. No guarantee here, and Gomes took off with head down, going to run it out as hard as he could.
High arcing drive to left field.
Ball hit off the glove of Burnett, kicks to shortstop, and that'll do it for the Blue Jays as Arancibia grounds out. And a big smile for Sean Burnett. He finally gives up some runs. Yan Gomes comes through with a nice pinch hit home run for his own personal account. 6-3 Washington, able to win it over the Blue Jays here in the first of 3. Any thoughts, Tabby, on tonight's game?
Well, the big news on the Blue Jays side is Brandon Morrow. Is he okay? Is he going to be able to make his next start? We'll probably know more tomorrow. Blue Jays just 4 hits against Edwin Jackson. He picked up a good start tonight for Washington, and this is a legitimate team. Yeah. This is a good team, the Washington Nationals.
Bryce Harper, one terrific young player. Up next, it's connected with the LA Dodgers against the LA Angels. That'll be in East Ontario. Thanks for watching tonight. See you tomorrow.